always good Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
All right. I'm not Matthew McConaughey or anything, but I like.
You sound like it.
You're
right there.
I'm a little rougher than that. Hey, welcome to the show this morning. I'm here with Coach Tracy Welch after another victory by the Bullfrogs, now sitting at 3-0. Coach, get into last night. There was a lot to be said for last night. I say that every week, but, I mean, it's just so much from this team and what you and the staff are doing and what these kids are putting on the line, and it showed a lot last night. Kind of the attrition of the game, mentally, physically, emotionally, all that kind of good stuff. Let's go into it.
Well, first of all, let's give praise. Let's do. I praise God for the many blessings that He's bestowed upon us, and I praise God for the way the kids are working. Just so many great things right now at Lake Worth, and exciting times. I really appreciate you saying that, Joy. But it is our season. You know, like I say every year, there's 4 parts of the season. You have your preseason, you have your you got your two-a-days, and of course with UIL changing the rules a couple of years ago, we can have the kids all summer. But you got your summer, and then you got your scrimmages, and then you have your non-district games. Then you have your district games, and you have your playoffs. So really, our schedule has really benefited us. Starting out with Northside, a good tune-up game there, getting ready for Stinger. Stinger, I thought, was a very tough, hard-nosed team that runs at you. Big quarterback that brings it downhill. Had a good running back that brought it downhill. So I thought our kids played well that game. Coming into last night's ball game, a little different thought process. Those kids could throw, they could run. They were multifaceted, as well as their offensive line. Joshua has the numbers of 2 platoon, so they've only got kids playing one way. They got their offensive linemen playing one way. They got defensive linemen playing one way, and we were ready for that last night. I thought we were in shape. I thought we did a good job of them not wearing us down, because they break the huddle, they get up there in the fast, they try to fast pace you that way, and our kids handled it. Coach, I was texting the coach last night after the game, complimenting on his son. His son's a good football player. They're playing well, and he was running back. Our kids fought. Our kids did not give up. They kept fighting. That's compliments to our team. So very, very proud of where we're at right now. Proud of the blessings that's been just flowing on us, and we came out there last night, got some bumps and bruises, so we got to get those things healed up and get ready for a homecoming game.
Most definitely. You know, last night was a special night for so many different reasons. Last night was the eve of 9/11, 20-year anniversary, and I thought that Joshua did a fine job in representing that and kind of opening the night, and also autism awareness. Hunter's Heroes, the defensive coordinator for Joshua, has a son that is on the spectrum of autism, and last night it was really a proud moment to see not just Joshua coaches, but Lake Worth coaches out there representing for their helping out and pushing out their community effort as well.
Coach Diarman had reached out to us back in the summertime and told us the situation, and I guess they had done the same thing at Arlington Bowie, who's over there. I thought it was a really good deal. I think they kind of tied together the autism awareness thing along with the 9/11 tribute, which was good. We're having a military appreciation night, our first district game here at home, and hope it's a good deal for us. But Dana Bowman, the guy who Sergeant First Class Dana Bowman, retired, who parachuted in last night, is a friend of mine. We did a big fundraiser down at the last school we were at. We helped General Funk, retired General Funk from Fort Hood. They're building a big military museum down there, Mounted Warfare Museum, and we did a lot of fundraisers for them. And Dana Bowman parachuted into that fundraiser every year. Then we had our bowl game called the Heart of Texas Bowl game, football game, and Dana parachutes the game ball in for that for us as well. So he's a friend of mine. Lives over here in Weatherford. Dana's going to come over that game that Friday. He's going to talk to our student body, and then parachute the game ball into our military appreciation night. So I thought it was good. Our coaches wore the T-shirts, and we're very proud to do that and help along. And of course, we put the stickers on the back of our helmets. So Coach Diarman had a good idea with that, and we were proud to be a part of that situation.
That's awesome. Those are moments that people that don't normally see there's more to the game of football, those are moments that you get to see the community more than the game of football.
And whenever he reached out to me, we've got you said the autism spectrum, and we have a kid or two on our team the same way. And I'm not going to say names, but anytime you can bring awareness to a situation like that, and we're all for it because we're here for kids.
Yeah, most definitely. It plays close to my heart. One of our guys that come up and film sometimes, my younger brother Joshua Wilcox, and my niece Ellie is on the spectrum as well. So it's near dear to my heart. So I didn't realize that last night. So when it happened, it definitely brought some emotions up. But let's get into this game. I want to, I don't bag, thanks to you and Johnny Wheeler that was previously on the show with me. It taught me up and brought me up right. So I don't like to bag on bad situations or what we may perceive as bad calls. But let's get in that game. Let's talk just a little bit about it. We're going to come up with Tracy Raines and Vance McAnally here in just a little bit to go over stats and kind of their perspective from those coordinator positions. But from your position, starting out the game early on, let's just kind of run through that a little bit.
Well, I thought it was a slugfest at first, and we had a good coach. We stopped them. They had a drive going against us. We got down there and stopped them, and on a fourth down situation, and they turned the ball over. It was good to see. Good stand there by our defense. We had a good drive going there offensively, and we got a holding call outside. And anytime you're playing against a good, well-coached team like Joshua is, you can't have those 10-yard penalties really set you back. We had some play-action passes over the top that we missed last night, and if we'd have hit that, I think it made open a little bit more for us. But that first drive we had, that penalty, that holding penalty hurt us there, that 10-yard penalty. Slugfest back and forth, 9-8 at halftime. The second drive we had, Coach Raines generated that, got down there. We kicked the field goal, went up 3-0. And then we scored again. Anyway, at halftime it was 9-8. And we have a saying in our locker room. When we come out of our locker room, the kids all touch the wall up there, but it says 48 minutes to play, a lifetime to remember. So, the halftime score, we were up 9-8. We won the first half, but we knew we had to come out and win the second half. And we knew we were in for a battle there. And I thought the kids did a good job. They stayed focused. Our coaches stayed focused. We had some injuries last night or some situations where a kid might not be able to go, so we were having to go down our depth charts and get the next guy ready to go, especially on special teams. So just so many things last night that happened that was good for us. And everything we're doing right now, Joey, is building ourselves, getting ready for our first district ball game. And just so many scenarios last night that played out that was good for us.
Yeah, so like you said, the first half, Bullfrogs won 9-8. Second half, the Bullfrogs won 21-16. So the end of that first half, it looked kind of a little bit like a soccer score a little bit.
It did.
The last time, so last night was the what I was calling the tiebreaker between Joshua and Lake Worth. The first time, your first year here, the Bullfrogs were still quite a bit timid, not so grounded in knowing who they were as a team, and that showed that first time Joshua kind of had a handle on us. And that second time, it was an offensive shootout. And last night, definitely, I thought, even though the score, you see 31-25, I thought the score didn't show the defensive battle that was going on. Let's talk a little bit. Going into halftime, it was a defensive battle back and forth, up by 1 point. But what was the catalyst that kind of helped push into the second half?
Well, I thought, first of all, they did a good job running the ball. They're a ground control offense. Their quarterback's a freshman, and doing a good job over there. They throw smart short passes to get him some confidence going. Those little screen passes, little flare passes out of the backfield. So they did a good job of that. So the clock ran fast. You say it's 9-8, and people say, well, it was a good battle, but at the same time, it was a fast half. Fast half took right an hour, and a lot of that is because of how they were running the ball. Offensively, we did a good job of staying 50-50, throwing the ball, running the ball, and we knew they were going to be tough up in there. They got some good linemen, and this is one of the first schools we've seen that they only play their linemen one way. They two platoon because they have the numbers. They're a 5A school, and Coach DeArmond's done a good job of that. He and his staff's done a good job of that. So yes, it was a battle. It was a defensive battle, but at the same time, it was a fast first half because how they ran the ball. So coming in at halftime, we just went in. Coaches did a great job. Coach Raines and his staff did a very, very good job of attacking some situations. They saw how they were playing some of our run game, and they came out second half and took advantage of that, and had a good drive there. Hit Pulte 3 or 4 times on a kind of a read route and did a good job of that. So made some very, very good halftime adjustments. And really, that's kind of the maturity of our team right now. Anytime you can go in at halftime and make those adjustments, you haven't practiced in practice, you haven't had a chance to work on them, but you go in there in a matter of 5 or 6 minute time, draw up on the board what we're looking at, how we're going to attack, what we're going to change, and the kids can come out and execute that. That shows some maturity, and that's where our kids are right now. So that was the thought process going in at halftime.
Most definitely. That's one thing that I've noticed, and I think anybody that's paid attention to the Bullfrogs has noticed is not just the maturity, but the actual, fluid football knowledge that the boys that the team is able to ingest. We know today all these kids are on handheld devices and playing video games, all this stuff all the time, and it's always good to see when a coaching staff pushes the envelope of the knowledge and the kids can retain that and bring that in, and it shows on the field.
I'm glad you brought it up there. You have those video games. They're not realistic. They're not realistic. And I had a kid the other day I was talking to, and I said, "Why do you want to be out here in this football team?" I love football. And so that's great. I'm glad you hear that. I'm glad you love football. So I think football. I think all athletics. I think anything to do with connectivity, connecting a young man or young woman back to the school district. Connectivity is what it's all about. Whether it be band, choir, FFA, welding, CTE programs, athletics, whatever it may be, connecting them back to athletics helps us get that education. But it's not realistic. Those video games. So when I asked the young man, I said, "What?" Tell me about the football games on TV last night. He had no idea. So I love football, but I don't even watch it on TV. I don't study it. I don't live it. I play video games, and those video games are unrealistic. If you have an NFL team on the video game that's really hot right now, you're going to win, and everybody knows that. If you have an NCAA football team that's really hot, then you're going to win on the video game. That's just the way it is. All your onside kicks you always get, all those things you always get. So it's unrealistic. So, but you're right. It's kind of changed our society right now too. And whereas whenever we were kids, you go out back and you play football, and I'm Bart Starr, I'm Joe Namath, I'm Roger Staubach. Now those kids don't even know who those people are. So those football games in the backyards don't exist anymore.
Well, speaking of those, our radio show is sponsored by Eagles Nest, and I tell you what, every parent, you guys could get out there, take your kids up to Eagles Nest, just up Boat Club Road before you get to Bailey Boswell. On the left-hand side, the Eagles Nest, they have a bunch of TVs in there, a big 185-inch TV wall. Take your kids up there. Go get some breakfast this morning. Go get some lunch this afternoon. Go get some dinner. Get you some hot wings out there. Go see them at Eagles Nest, and go. You know what? They sell nice, tall, cold glass of that golden nectar sweet tea.
That's right.
I tell you what, and some ice water.
And they have sweet and low.
They have sweet and low.
They have sweet and low. I drink unsweet tea with good sweet and low, and you're right. Nice, tall, cool glasses.
That's right.
What a great lead in there you did there, Joey. That's awesome.
I'm getting good at this a little bit.
Go. All right.
One thing I want to point out too, we have athletes right now that are still multi-sport and multi-fine arts as well. And I wanted to point out Jace Mueller, in particularly, just because he is right now is rocking in tennis, and he's doing his job out here in football. Say a little something about him there.
Well, he's doing a great job. Fine young man, good kid. We went and watched him play. They had a tough tennis match the other day against Argyle, and he went over and battled. He and his partner, Cash Martinez, battled. As a matter of fact, they won the first game. Lost the set overall, but battled hard and playing hard, and just a good kid. Always smiling, always yes or no, sir. We had a situation where he had to step in and be the starter, and he's doing a good job of that. We have a saying here called "the ready man doesn't have to get ready," and Jace was ready, and the other young man has now came back. He's on the team, but Jace didn't want to give the position up, and he's got a good battle there. So, and again, that helps create the depth you need. So, very, very proud of Jace and what he's doing, and just a fine young man.
Yes, he is. Well, we're going to go ahead and step into our next segment here and pull up one of these other guys over here. See who's up next. You going to flip a coin? Coach Tracy Raines making his way up. Step up to the podium.
How you doing, Joey?
We are doing fantastic.
Yes, we are.
On a winning Saturday morning. 3-0 the Bullfrogs are. And last night, just from my view, and I know you're gonna get into this. Just from my view, I felt like the knife was sharp. Just we kept missing the organs a couple of times there.
We did.
We had it there. Let's go into that offense.
Especially on a couple of deep passes, we had some couple of kids open, Mark and Sessions out there on both sides. But overall, that was a tough defense that we were playing against last night, Joy. And they run a little bit unconventional defense where they've got that number 13 who makes a lot of plays. He's a rover. Well, he doesn't have a set position. He moves around where he needs to be, where he thinks we're going to run the ball. And it's hard to assign somebody to him to block him because you never know where he's going to be, you know. But overall, I thought the kids stepped up. You know, it was a battle back and forth on the scoreboard. And our kids kept competing. We got down for a few minutes there, and they never got their heads down or anything. They kept competing, and we kept putting pressure on them and got in the end zone some more times. So very proud of them.
Last night was another great viewing of the weapons that the Bullfrogs have. I think I'm going to go on a whim here. Almost everyone in a back position in the behind the line of scrimmage, whether it's a receiver or a back, almost every one of them touched the ball last night. I think we might have had two that didn't.
I think they did. They did. We had 4 different guys carrying the ball, and I think I looked on the stat sheet this morning, and we had about 6 of them catch the ball. So, everybody was involved, and they were taking our run game away. It was very tough for run yards. They were not going to let us run the ball up and down the field, which we did a couple of times in the previous weeks. But we had to look at some passing plays there and got some great skill players out there, too, and a great quarterback. And Isaiah made some tremendous plays when he had a little bit of pressure on him in the pocket and scrambled around there and found some receivers downfield. That was great to see because I hadn't seen him in that situation before.
Oh, yeah, those are awesome moments for any quarterback. But for a quarterback that this is his primary start year, he came out, and those two big scrambles he had, one there, I believe it was in the third or early on in the fourth, he dodged the defensive end and the outside linebacker, cut inside, and pressure was coming in his face, threw it in for a touchdown. I think it was to Pulte.
I think so.
And then we went back in the fourth quarter, and he scrambled out. It was a nice move, stiff arm, roll out to the right-hand side. Stiff arm, still barely pulled his hand off the guy and threw it down again to Pulte, found a spot behind the defense, and it was a great job going downfield there. Now, you talk about that run. They took that running game away. You know, I think one of the hardest things for a running back to do is when you know you're going against a good run defense, is every time your number's called, you still could have to try to grind out, you're 1, 2, 3 yards. And I thought Madrano and Moore both did a fantastic job of that last night.
They did. They sure did. And those 2 and 3 yards are big plays because that gets you into a second medium or third and short or whatever, so that you can manage and able to get the first down. The big advantage that we have is that our quarterback is able to run too, and so when you start mixing in some one-back stuff and putting some counter with it, and then the quarterback, draw on the opposite side, that is a game changer for some defenses when he's able to do things like that.
Yeah, I call that the accordion effect, right? Spread them out real big and then find your gaps in between and bring them back in and play the outside. And it looks like you guys did a great job of that last night. As you could see, the run intermixed and the passing. Last night, quote me, tell me if I'm wrong, but last night there was some cushion on the outside, and we were able to take advantage of kind of those little hitch routes, those smaller routes, and the yards after catch was a big deal for the Bullfrogs last night.
And we knew that coming in. We knew the corners played a lot softer, and we were going to take that underneath stuff until they started tightening down, and then we could hit some. But we knew if we needed to go over the top, we need to get in our I formation or something that we are strong, high percentage run, and hit some play actions, because that brings those safeties down, and we're able to get one-on-one behind them, which we were able to get them. We just got to connect on those, and that'll come. So.
Yeah, I think the thing there with Isaiah Hall, and I know every time he looks back on film and he sees how open his receivers are, he's like, oh, just overthrew him just out in front, just a little bit. But at the same time, a lot of people don't see it the way that I see it. Being a former quarterback myself, is I put it out in front of him to where he's the only one that can try to get it.
Yep.
And try to stay away from those interceptions. One last thing, I'm going to let you say something on it. You ain't got to say much on it. But what were your thoughts when Demarion Pulte's 2 yards in the end zone and the ball comes out and they give the ball to the Owls?
So we look back on film this morning, and it looked like he fumbled the ball around the 2-yard line. It was starting to come out at that time.
So you thought it was loose at the
last night, what were my thoughts on it? Or this morning, what were my thoughts on it? Last night, I thought he was 2 yards deep in the end zone, just like you said there. But this morning, after looking at it, that ball was coming out before he actually got there. So it looks like they made a good call. Now, we first of all, we can't put ourselves in that situation for that to even be a question. We've got to hold on to that ball, and that's one thing we talk about every day in practice is ball security. And I thought we did a good job the first half last night. I praised the kids at halftime. It was a very tight ball game. We were 9-8. We didn't have any turnovers at that time, but we come out the second half and turned it over a couple times and gave them some more opportunities. So can't do that. We've got to eliminate those turnovers.
It's always good to see there's things that, your little gaps here and there that you still need to fix, but still come away with a victory, Coach.
Yes, it is. And say one thing, I hadn't said anything about the offensive line yet, but that they were bringing a lot of pressure on that offensive line last night, and I thought Hector and Matthew Welch and Mueller, you talked about him playing dual sports in there a while ago. I think all 5 of them did a great job of picking those things up. They got us a couple times, which is going to happen when they send blitzing linebackers, but we're going to get them some too. And those guys did a great job last night.
Yeah, I think last night, I think it was one time that they brought the house, and it turned out good for them. They got the sack, but that was about the only time of the night they really got a full-on push through, caught us off guard just a little bit. But, hey, Coach, congratulations. Good job last night, and we got the homecoming coming up.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach. Coming up next, we got old Vance McAnally. I would say take the hot seat, but the seat right now feels pretty good.
Yeah, it does. 3-0.
3-0, baby.
That's a good seat.
That is a good seat. So last night, so the first time we played Joshua, they had us handedly. The next time we played Joshua, it seemed like it was an offensive battle. Both defenses had a hard time struggling stopping each other. And last night, for the third time we've seen Joshua since you guys have been here, last night early on, the score doesn't tell it, like I was talking earlier, but that was a good defensive battle there.
It was
going on. Let's go into that.
Yeah, I mean, you saw halftime score 9-8. I mean, in today's football, that's a good half of football. And actually, overall, we played pretty well. We gave up a couple of big runs. They're talented. Number 40. And we knew coming in if he played, he had been out the week before, but we expected him back, and he was back. And I mean, he's fast. He's Joshua historically in track has been poor. They have a great coach, really good at certain things. They're very good at pole vault. They're very good at hurdles, but certain the speed events and the relays and things like that, they just were never very good. I've known Joshua and their coach. I've known them for 25 years. So, and I saw this year where they either won district or were competing for the district title. And so I knew that they had some speed. And I think with the number 40, he's a track guy first, and he's definitely got good on-track speed. And then the 13, they had the linebacker Rover guy, the head coach's son. He moved in and definitely brought some speed with him too, and so they their team speed was a lot better. So they got us a couple times, but we got them a couple times. We had a couple of real big stops, in the second half, and super proud of the kids.
Oh yeah. The defense, the defense for the Bullfrogs coming out, you can see that number 40 Smith, Colby Smith, that kid right there. It's not that even that he's a quick kid and he's fast. But the big thing was you could watch him methodically pick and choose where he was going. And so although they may run an ISO, as soon as he got past the line of scrimmage and that hole closed up, he changed directions and went another way. And I thought the Bullfrogs, it took us a little bit, but I thought the Bullfrogs did a decent job adjusting to that, to slow that down, and definitely saw a major change in the second half.
He is very patient, and that's their offense and it's a really good scheme. their zone scheme is it's different. I mean, I can tell you, it's tough to defend, and they're super, super patient. I mean, they get that ball and they'll block back, and they pull, they pull guys. And that sometimes it looks like they're reading, and a little technical jargon. They're reading that backside cutback player, and I mean, boy, if he overflows, they hand it and cut it back. They do a good job. Good scheme. They run a lot of unbalanced. It's crazy. I mean, they will go unbalanced with trips over. I mean, they can get 7 guys on the right side or left side of the center in just a second, and linebackers got to be heads up and make adjustments. If not, they'll just overload you over there. So it was great for us to see that kind of stuff last night. And first few times we missed it, and then the linebackers kind of got it going, and so it was good. We had some kids too that stepped up and made some big plays that aren't normal starters, that aren't starters right now, but they're earning themselves more and more play time. Hornell Klubu on the second 2-point conversion. Man, he busted through there, did exactly what he's supposed to do, and tackled the guy and held him out of the end zone there. So, Trey Stevens made a couple of really good plays, and didn't get a ton of snaps, but he made a couple of big plays there, and he's kind of earning himself some more playing time.
Yeah, another name to note that I saw last night that had a really good game was Thatcher.
Oh, man.
Thatcher had a great game.
So, Chris Thatcher, what a great story there. Young man, hadn't played football since junior high. Senior, just a good young man. I mean, he's the kind of guy that you're like, man, I like him. Yes sir, no sir, and works hard. Came out and I was like, Coach, I want to play football, and they had moved in here, and he had been over at one of the neighboring schools, and Coach Denman knew one of their coaches and called him. We always call him, check, say, hey, what kind of kid? And their coach was like, you're not gonna find a better kid. You're not gonna. He goes, he hadn't played football over here, but if you can get him to play football, you'll love him because there's not a better kid. And boy, he's right. And so he's really taken up, and he's a sponge out there. Listens. He's got a motor. He's running. You saw him last night run down the screen pass.
Oh yeah.
When you got a nose guard who can play off the block, run down the line, and tackle the screen, you got a pretty good nose guard. So he has definitely been a big-time help for us. Coach Raines and Coach Welch, Coach Posey have decided on how they're doing the offensive line, and it's really helped our offense. Those guys, they get to stay over there, and they're working offense the whole time, the whole practice, and and we have our defensive linemen. They get some offense, but then they get defense too. And we got a couple of guys who get to stay on defense the whole time. So that's definitely been a positive for us, and we're starting to see the rewards of that on both sides of football.
That is awesome.
Yep.
So hey, homecoming's coming up. So congrats on this win, and let's get into it. This next week is homecoming here against Venus.
My homecoming.
Not your homecoming.
No, I'm not from here, but hey. For you guys, for you old folks, this is your homecoming. That's what I tell the kids all the time. It's not their homecoming. They're already home. You're not going anywhere. We're staying here. We're just it's another football game for us, and that's what I try not to. I try not to get the kids. The kids don't need to get too hyped about. I tell them all the time, and I know I'm kind of backwards and old, but guys, it's not your homecoming. It's your mom and dad's and Joey and all these old farts around here. It's it's not their home. It's you want to get out there, obviously, and we want to win that game for all those people, absolutely. And but I was like, it's not your homecoming, it's theirs. And hey, but let's make it a win, and let's get after it and make them excited and all that. But
it's going to be a crowd here for sure.
It will be. It will be all kinds of festivities this week. I understand. So we'll have fun with it, and we'll be ready Friday night. Excited about it, and hey, we got an opportunity. All you ask for is an opportunity. We got an opportunity to go 4-0.
That's right, Coach. Congrats on this win.
There
Let's
you go.
go.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Joey. Pretty good wrap-up there by both coordinators.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so,
I want to touch something right fast
Go ahead.
on what Coach McIntyre said. We've coached together now 24, 25, 28 years. And, what he said right there, most folks might not understand what he just said. But it is homecoming week. We have one job to do as a football team, and what's that?
win
a football game, because you have people coming in. I know Mr. Stoltz is advertising, trying to have a big alumni party and get together. A lot of things going on. You got the parade Monday night. You got the parade. You got the alumni party. You got all these different things going on. And what a sour way is if the football team doesn't do their job and win that football game. So, yes, it may be a little bit different philosophy, mentality, but our job is to do one thing, that's to win that football game. It really ain't our homecoming. It's our homecoming game to celebrate the alumni coming back for homecoming, guys like yourself. And I appreciate Vance and Tracy Raines, and love them like brothers, and they do a great job. And little different philosophy there, but that's our philosophy.
Yeah, I think what it is the hype has been so much around all the festivities and stuff,
Sure.
and the kids get wrapped up in it. But that's very much a lot of people don't understand. Well, we hadn't been on the road much. Well, it's not about the team being on the road and coming back home, because you're going to come home and go away, come home, go away all season long, and you hope to be playing away at the end of the season more than anything.
There you go.
And not at home.
That's right.
And so it's the homecoming this week for Lake Worth Bullfrogs. All you alumni that are tuning in and checking it out, there's going to be a reception here Friday night. Mr. Bobby Stoltz, principal, is going to be putting it on just inside the school. It'll be roughly about an hour and a half before the game kicks off. Be able to come in toward the school, have some nice little food to eat, and then come in and check out the game. But speaking of that game, Bullfrogs played Venus last year and beat them pretty handily. But at the same time, we know every year it's a new game, it's a new team. You still have to do the same scheme and go out and practice like you practice.
We had no saying. The bull don't care what happened yesterday.
That's right.
And unless you're a rodeo guy or watch rodeo, and you don't understand what I'm saying. A bull rider gets on a bull, and he has to ride him for 8 seconds. Well, that bull is trained. He's bred to buck you off. And you may have rode him yesterday, but that bull has forgotten, because he's trained to buck you off, to do his job, and to get you off his back. So the bull don't care what happened yesterday. We beat Venus last year. Since I've been here, this will be our second time to play them. I don't know, a lot of their history and that kind of stuff. Coach Spray is the head coach. He's doing a fantastic job, and I've talked to him. He's very excited about his team this year. They've got a running back that has moved in. He's very excited about his running back. They got a defensive lineman that caused us some problems last year. I thought he was a senior last year. He was not. He was a junior last year, and he's back. So they've been hit with some COVID situations. They've only had one real game, so they're 2 games behind as far as that goes. They had 2 scrimmages and then the 1 game. So they're still putting this team together. We just can't let, as Bullfrogs, we can't let that team gel against us this coming Friday night. We can't let them use that bulletin board material, that homecoming, as bulletin board material, which a lot of folks do. They picked us as their homecoming. So that's a motivational avenue for them to hit on, and we can't let this team come in here this week and gel on us.
That's right. The Bullfrogs have done a great job. The players have done a great job focusing in even after victories, and now they've had that 3rd victory, whereas some teams could get ahead of themselves. It seems like right now the Bullfrogs know they cashed in. They enjoyed the win last night, and they're ready to go to work today. This is the first time the Bullfrogs have been 3-0 in quite some time.
Brian Gossett last night interviewed some players and interviewed me on the field, and one of his first questions to me was, Coach, how does it feel first time to be 3-0 since 2005? I had no idea, and I told Brian that. We don't get a lot of records and a lot of media coverage because we're 4A, and I understand 5As and 6As get more of the coverage, and I understand that. But Brian, I had no idea. It's been since 2005. We started out 3-0, so that's 16 years. And Coach McIntyre was giving a young man a ride home last night after the game, and young man said something about being 3-0, and Coach McIntyre said it's been since 2005. He said that's the year I was born. So at 16 years, and sure enough, we're coaching 15, 16, 17-year-old kids, so it's been since those kids were born that Lake Worth has started out 3-0. So. But you're right. You can't let that go to your head. I think we do a good job. We had a short time to celebrate that victory last night. We got on the bus about 11. We got home by 11:45, and we got a night's sleep. We're back at it today, getting ready for Venus. We're going to watch last night's film. We're going to hit the weights. We're going to hit the field and get our running in, get that blood flowing, get all the lactic acid out and so forth. But it's time now to get ready for Venus. We'll be able to celebrate the year at the end of the year at our banquet. So right now it's a daily grind, and we got to get ready for the next opponent.
That's right. So coming up this next Monday night, I would say be there about 5 o'clock. Find you some good parking down on Telephone Road. We're going to have the homecoming parade. It's not going to be on that blacktop anymore. It's actually going to be across the street, same area, right in front of the transportation building. Have us a little stage out there, some lighting, and have everybody out there. Give everybody a little room to breathe a little bit. That little spot we had at before, those two buildings, we've gotten so big now. It's just not enough room for everybody to be up there.
I told the kids that the other day. So many positive things are going on. When I took the job here, I was told we didn't have fans. I shouldn't say didn't have fans. Didn't have people in the stands. Our stands right now are full. They're doing a good job of that. We're hopefully it's one of these days we're going to have to add on to our stands. Our band is awesome. What a great situation there with our band and what Mr. Kading and his staff does. Our town is really buying in. We're having to meet on things such as who's running the gates. Who's parking the buses for the visiting people? Who's handling the band when they come in here? So many problems are popping up because of all the excitement that's going on around Lake Worth athletics and Lake Worth ISD. Period. Just Dr. Nesbitt, her staff doing a great job, and what a great place to be. But let me tell the fans also this. I've been in those homecoming meetings, rearranging how we're going to do things. And Joey Wilcoxon, the guy sitting right here next to me, is so thought of. Can we get Joy to help us? Can Joy do this? Can Joy do that? So, Joy, you're well thought of. You're appreciated. You mean a lot to this program, this community.
I mean, that means the world to me to say that. I really do appreciate it. I thank you. Thank you for that. And so you guys heard it right here. Next week, homecoming at home against Venus. Kickoff, we're going to do a 7 o'clock.
I believe that's right, yes.
7 o'clock for the festivities. That'll be at halftime for homecoming. You Bullfrog fans that are out there that live here locally, I don't want you to tune into the radio station next week. I want you to come out to the game, come support, come out here, be a loud voice in the stands. If you got to be at home for whatever situation, we will be live. We want to thank our IT department for running that line up there. We're going to have a solid feed up in the press box next Friday night. The reception, I believe, kicks off at 4:30 or 5 o'clock here at Lake Worth High School for Friday night's game. But the next thing up is Monday. Remind you again, Monday, get down there by Telephone Road, get you a good parking spot, 5:30. Parade will kick off there shortly afterwards. We're going to enjoy community, enjoy being around each other, and lift these kids up. And not only that, just enjoy a great tradition here in Lake Worth. So, Coach, you got any closing thoughts?
Joy, I appreciate your help. I appreciate what you mean to the program. It's exciting times. I praise God, and I'm very, very pleased the way our program's coming together. These kids are fighting, and you made a good point there. Come out and support homecoming Monday night. Come to the homecoming festivities. What a great situation for our community. And Joy made a point there. We have Lake Worth has some tradition-rich situations. The homecoming was one of the biggest ones here. So come out and enjoy the kids. Come out and enjoy the homecoming celebration and festivities.
Most definitely. And so we'd like to let you know this show and all of our shows are brought to you by Eagles Nest, located just up Boat Club Road, right down the road from Lake Worth High School. For Coach Tracy Welch, for Bullfrog Radio and Lake Worth ISD, I'm Joey Wilcoxon. We'll see you guys Monday night at the parade. Let's go Bullfrogs.